I gotta say, I'm a little upset. I went to locals and nobody noticed or said anything about my awesome new Pokemon shirt, and I'm a little bummed. Hey everybody, Nick from 9card TCG, and today we're going to be going over the second place, the finalist for the European International Championships that just happened in Frankfurt. So congratulations to Gustavo Wada for winning the event, and congratulations to Frank Persick for coming in second with a deck that honestly, I don't think anybody really expected to make it to the finals. I'm sure there were plenty of people who thought it was a good deck or could do well, but I think some people might be surprised to find out that it, came in second. And so we're going to take a look at that deck, and you can follow Frank Persick over on Twitter. I have a link to Frank's Twitter in the video description. And let's just get right over to PTCGO. But before we do, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment to this channel. That tells YouTube this is a good video and other people should watch it. If you're in the market for some TCG accessories, I am now affiliated with Dragon Shield, which means you can use the link in the video description to get yourself some awesome Dragon Shield matte sleeves. They're the only ones I use. You show up to regionals looking and feeling like a pro. You can also become a channel member by clicking the join button to see the different perks you get, but none of that's ever expected. Just you being here watching is enough for me. Also, I don't really advertise it much, but there is a link to the, I have a Discord, and we, chat and play games and do giveaways in Discord and stuff. And if you're looking for a cool deck to play for indie regionals, for New Jersey, for whatever events coming up, 9card deck rent, link in the video description. You can rent decks so you can play it before you buy it, or try it before you buy it. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Now, with all that out of the way, let's have it over. Now, with all that... it's not a 9-card video without me stuttering over my words, and I was doing so good, I was feeling confident, and yet here we are. Last time, heading over to PTCGO to take a look at Frank's second place deck. So this is Frank's Whimsicott deck, and we've covered Whimsicott in the past, but we covered an Arceus Whimsicott version, or an Arceus Whimsicott combo deck, and you got that two-piece deal. Now it's literally just Whimsicott. You do have some other Pokemon like Bibarel and the Crobat here, but it's the Whimsicott show, and Whimsicott itself, the V, nothing really special. We really want to evolve into Whimsicott VSTAR, 250 health. It has a weakness to metal, not dark, and that's huge in this format. Retreat cost of 1 is really nice, which means we get free retreat with Air Balloon, and that the attack is really what we're looking to do here. Trick Wind for 1 Psychic and 2 colors does 160 damage, which, by the way, 320 on a Fighting Weak Pokemon is really nice. Not enough to knock out an Urshifu Vmax in one hit, but still putting in a ton of damage. But the real thing here is that during your opponent's next turn, they cannot attach special energies or tool cards from their hand to any of their Pokemon. So we're looking to run a little bit of a denial type of deck. Fluffball Star is our V-Star power for just a Psychic Energy. This attack does 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and for each energy attached to this Pokemon. So if we have a Psychic Energy and a double Turbo Energy, we do 60 times 3, which is 180 minus the double 20, the 20 for the double Turbo. We're still hitting for that same 160. However, we can target down any Pokemon we want. So if we damage a Vmax and then it runs to the bench, or we damage a V-Star and it runs to the bench, we can easily pick it off with something like Fluffball Star. We can take out opposing Drizziles so they don't evolve into Inteleons, and that's something that actually happened in EUIC. I unfortunately don't remember who was playing it. It might have been Frank, it might have been it was someone else, where they used the Fluffball Star to target down their opponent's only Drizzile, really kind of preventing them from doing anything in the next turn. They took away any options of consistency doing so. It was a very smart play, and one that you might overlook, but now that I've kind of mentioned it, hopefully it comes to the forefront a little bit easier, a little bit better. I'm not really sure. One thing to note is it does have 250 health, which for V-Stars is a little bit on the lower side, but ideally our opponent really won't be getting off any attacks, so we don't have to worry about that too much. Why are they not going to be getting off attacks? Because we're running 4 copies of Crushing Hammers. Flip a coin. If heads, choose one of your opponent's energies and discard them. Crazy good and honestly super annoying. We also have Fan of Waves, where we can take a special energy attached to one of our opponent's Pokemon and put it to the bottom of their deck. So our opponent is playing Arceus and they have that double turbo energy. We just hit them with the Fan of Waves, and then there you go. No more double turbo energy, or at least not in play. It's now going to be at the bottom of the deck, and we can stop them from using something like Starburst, their V-Star power. And Starburst lets you search your deck for any 2 cards you want, put them into your hand. We can stop our opponent from using things like Starburst with Path to the Peak, which turns off all abilities on Pokemon that have a rule box. So Pokemon V, V-Stars, all that kind of thing, they are all rule box Pokemon, so no abilities. We're also going to be using something like Tool Scrapper to get rid of opposing Air Balloons, Choice Belts, stuff like that, so that our opponent can't easily retreat. We can try to trap them in the active. They have no energies, no Air Balloons to retreat. Force them to have a switch or an escape rope. We're going to be finding our own energies and even our own basic Whimsicotts. Using something like Fog Crystal, we can search our deck for a basic Psychic energy or basic Psychic Pokemon and put it into our hand. Some of the other interesting cards for this deck, especially in the control type aspect, is Avery. Now, Avery is a supporter that lets you draw 3 cards, so it's a draw supporter, but your opponent has to discard Pokemon from their bench until they only have 3 remaining. This is really good for things like Mew. Anything that runs a full bench of Sobbles and Drizzile, so Arceus and Teleon, Rapid Strike, things like that, you are going to be putting a hurting on their bench by using Avery. We already mentioned that we can use Boss's Orders to pull a Pokemon from the bench to the active spot with Boss's Orders, kind of trapped in there by getting rid of Air Balloons and energies. Now, we don't have Arceus to power up our own Whimsicott, so we're going to be able to do it in 2 ways. We do have our own basic Psychic energies and double turbo energies, but we also have Experience Share, and it's a tool card that you don't see a ton of. I used it a little bit in a Charizard deck that I had built, but this is the only other deck where I really see Experience Share. When your active Pokemon is knocked out from an attack done to you by your opponent, you can move a basic energy from that Pokemon to the Pokemon that has Experience Share attached. So if you have 2 Whimsicotts, one's on the bench, you attach an Experience Share, attach a double turbo energy, so now when your active gets KO'd, you can move that basic energy to the benched one, and now you're not really losing energies. But if we do lose energies and Pokemon, we have Ordinary Rod to get them back into the deck, and we can search them out with Fog Crystal. Speaking of searching stuff out, Peony is a really good card for this deck because it lets you discard your hand and search your deck for any 2 trainers you want, reveal them, put them into your hand, so then you can go ahead and play them, and then fill your hand back up with Bibarel. Bibarel has the Industrious Incisors ability, which once during your turn, you may draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. We also have Crobat V for some added draw support. When you play this card from your hand to the bench, you may draw until you have 6 cards. So that's pretty much the deck. We have some Pokemon search in the form of Quick Ball, Ultra Ball. We do have Evolution Incense, Air Balloon, so we can get out of the active. And our last 2 cards are Professor's Research, discard your hand and draw 7. And then we also have Marnie for a little bit of disruption if our opponent's hand is getting a little too big, or they use their own search card and we know that there's some stuff in their hand that might help them the next turn. We can go ahead and Marnie, they shuffle their hand, put it to the bottom of the deck, and then draw 4 cards. So using something like Marnie and Path, Crushing Hammers, you can really slow down your opponent, maybe even stop them from playing the game entirely if you Marnie them into a bad hand. So that's pretty much how this deck works. Like I said, Frank was able to pilot this all the way to 2nd place in EUIC. I don't think we'll be able to do as well because I'm not that skilled with it, but we'll find out. Going into game number 1, we'll see how we can do here. Our main goal is to kind of start Whimsicott double turbo energy. I do think we want to go first, so we can start pulling off trick wins as early as possible. So if we get to go first, that would be pretty nice. Either we have the double, I think the double turbo energy is probably what we want to see a little bit more, just because we can always Fog Crystal for a basic later. We do win the coin flip, which is great, so yes, we are going to go first. And we have a Whimsicott, and not much else. So hopefully we can top deck an energy of some kind, because at least the next time we can Marnie or research. That would be kind of nice. That would be good. We'd have to get another Whimsicott. There's really nothing to do here. And I just have to pass. That's one of the things when you start so few energies, or when you run so few energies, you might not hit them. We do have the Fog Crystals to help find energies, but now our opponent also missing. Wow. So I'm probably not going to Marnie them. That would be silly. I'm going to end up discarding this hand, but I think Crobat first. We might as well play these and get them out of the deck so we don't draw into them with the Crobat and Research. They're playing Eevee. Okay, so we got the double turbo energy, which is good. I actually might just hold this hand. Interestingly enough, we could have Fluffballed Star if we had the energy last time. If we had the energy last time, we would have won. Even if it was just a basic Psychic, we would have been able to Fluffball Star for the win, technically. But we don't have it. I think we just kind of hang. We just hang out. I could Ultra Ball, but we have draw supports for this next turn, so we'll see what they end up doing. We don't have, one thing we do not run is a Lumineon, so they're going to Marnie now. Did they just top deck that? Or did they have it last turn? Because if they had it last turn, I don't know what they were doing. But okay, and we have our own Marnie. They're going to throw Path to the Peak. We really don't care about that too much. We can Fan of Waves this energy. We're playing a Togekiss deck. Okay. Well, I'm obviously going to try to hammer it away. And from here, we can just win if we draw into a single energy. And we're going to maximize our chances of doing that. We just win. That's a little sad. Our opponent not really able to do much. That Search puts them into the hand, not into play. So let's try another game, and hopefully our opponent doesn't run into as tough luck as that last one. We still want to go first. We want to be able to pull off those trick wins very, very early. Then our opponent won't be able to attach things like DTEs to, say, Togekiss. We do win. Fantastic. So we'll hit first. This is actually okay. This is okay. I really actually don't mind this. I do not mind this. We're playing against Mew. So, definitely have to get things going kind of quickly. Now, they can KO this Bidoof, but they can't KO this I guess technically they could. No, they won't be able to. If they Elises, they can't boss. Unless they run Escape Rope, which they do. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, of course they do. Why wouldn't they have it in their opening hand? Oh, that's just so brutal. The question is, can they make it happen? Obviously, they're going to go for a Genesect. They need a Genesect, they need the Elisa Sparkle, and they need another Fusion Strike energy in play, or some modifiers. They go with the Mew. Do they have Genesects? They're going to switch. They get free retreat. They're Elisas. And just going to energy mix. Okay. So they are really putting those energies into play here. Well, we're going to hammer away. Off here. And we're going to fan this one. So now they can't Melodious Echo. At least not for any substantial damage. And they're gonna, and they just conceded it. I don't know why they didn't go for the Genesect. They thought they were being smart, getting the energies in play before I'm able to trick Wind, but no. Pure energy denial. Let's do one more game. These are very, very fast games. We're gonna go second this time, and we'll see how we fare going second. But man, I can't believe they conceded that. I mean, I can believe it. We made it so they wouldn't be able to do anything. We did still have to hit the double turbo energy off the research. There was no guarantee, but then they only had one card in hand, so there was no real guarantee even that they would be able to do anything the following turn. So they took a risk. They went for it. And we are playing Ice Rider. This is another deck that we might struggle against simply because they don't run any special energy at all, unlike Suicune that runs a little bit. We'll just throw this on the bench for funsies. And the fact that they go first means they're going to be able to pull off a... I mean, the path matters a little bit, because I kind of might have wanted to use Crobat, but this isn't looking great. We'll hammer. It doesn't matter because they also run the Melanie engine quite a bit. We'll just go ahead and discard. I mean, this whole hand's going to have to be discarded, unfortunately. So we'll go ahead and get another Whimsicott. And we are just going to research away, try to find some type of energy. We don't. We miss all outs to energy, which is crazy. We will go ahead and retreat into the Bidoof for now. And have to pass it off with 0 energy. Crazy to me. So they can just Melanie and attach. They can easily search for the Melanie with the Sobble, or with the Drizzile rather, to find Capacious Bucket. Attach from hand Melanie. They can just have Water Energy Melanie. So maybe, depending on what's in their hand, if they're going to Melanie first to get that energy, try to draw into something. Do they draw into another energy, though? They do. And they're just going to ride, yeah. We'll send up the Whimsicott here because it has the choice belt, but we're in a little bit of trouble. We can hammer away again, but they are just able to... They are going to be able to deal with this pretty easily, I think. And we don't have Raihan, so I can't even, like, attach double turbo, Raihan a basic. One, we have no basics in the deck, but at least it would be an option. And Avery here doesn't really help. So we'll go ahead and discard a couple of cards here. We'll get the Bibarel. We'll Peony. We'll get the hammer. Do I go double hammer in case I miss? I kind of have to get the Fog Crystal, I think. I have to guarantee some kind of energy. Oh no, I don't want you. I want you. We'll hammer. Hopefully we hit it. We don't. That's unfortunate. We'll draw some cards. We get the experience share, which is kind of nice. I don't think it really helps too much. We'll get one Whimsicott. I think we just pass, right? I don't know what else to do. They're going to be able to just Max Lance KO. They could just attach Boss Max Lance KO my Whimsicott V, and then I'm in a lot of trouble. Maybe I should have I couldn't experience share to this one because of the Air Balloon. So yeah, something like Ice Rider that can just take consistent KOs, and they're gonna go with Melanie, which means they don't have the water energy. So, but even so, even if I do put 160 into this thing, it still can, especially if they put the Choice Belt in now, they could still very easily KO our Whimsicott VSTAR. They don't even need the Choice Belt, honestly. It hits for 250, and that's exactly what I have, so it's not looking super hot for me. And I think this one's just going to be a loss. This deck is a little bit dependent on the meta, and something like Ice Rider and Suicune are not particularly popular decks. They're good, they're just not super popular. And as a result, most stuff in the meta runs special energies, so we're able to get away with using Whimsicott. But we can't really do anything about it here. We can Ultra Ball for another Whimsicott. Try to make something happen. We'll experience share and then draw for 5. See what we pull up. We can Marnie. We don't even need the hammer because they discard them on their own. Maybe we can kind of mess up their hand a little bit, but with so many outs to trainers in the form of Drizzles, Level Balls, Evolution Incense, Ultra Balls, things like that, it's not going to matter a ton. Fluff Ball Star will do 180, 160. It's really not anything crazy. It won't stop them from one-hit KOing us next turn. So, again, they're playing basic energies all the way. Half of their energies are coming from the discard pile. So, there's really not a ton we can do. And now they just Shady Dealings for a bucket and a Melanie, and we pretty much just lose. Yeah, there's unfortunately nothing we can do about this. They hit for the perfect numbers, even without the Choice Belt. So even if I did pull off a Trick Wind, it wouldn't make a difference. To still able to one-shot. Max Lance does 250, and it's exactly what we have. I do imagine that things like Palkia will be slightly problematic for this deck as well. And we're not even taking a two-shot here because of the double turbo energy. We're only hitting for 280, which means we are short on the energy. We still don't even have a Whimsicott VSTAR here. We can boss Industrious Incisors. We got the Evolution Incense. I'm just trying to see what we can make happen with this deck, if anything. And then we can go ahead and Trick Wind so that they can't attach an Air Balloon and retreat. They would need a switch. So maybe we can kind of trap them in here. But, they can attach Melanie and Glacial Lance, and that'll, or Pierce, and then the next turn Glacial Lance, and with a choice, they can't attach a Choice Belt. So, Evolution Incense, they're going to find a Drizzile, probably find an Escape Rope. Bibarel is really easy to knock out. They get the buckets. Again, I don't think it's really going to make a difference here. We still have 6 prizes, and they only have 1. So, we are going to be taking a loss here. And even going first, we're still not one-shotting a V, so it's not even like we can try to, attach first turn, second turn, double turbo energy, boss up a V from the bench, take a KO, keep them from reaching their Vmaxes. We are just hitting into 140s constantly. The idea is to keep them from attaching special energies and tools, but we can't stop them from doing that. We can't stop them from attaching the basics. So they have the Vmax, which means they could just attach a water energy and a Melanie, and they still win either way. So there's the Melanie. They have the buckets. I think it's just... there's the energy. There's the game. We tried, right? We tried our best. So there you have it, Whimsicott VSTAR. It can be a very good deck, especially when your opponent isn't able to do the things they want to do. But if you're running into, a lot of Suicunes, a lot of Ice Riders, a lot of decks that rely on basic energies and not necessarily special energies, you might find it a little bit difficult at times. But either way, Frank made it work, like I said, all the way to second place at EUIC, which is absolutely incredible. So once again, congratulations to him and Gustavo Wada for coming in second and first respectively. And yeah, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, found it a little informative. If you did, subscribe to the channel and all that kind of stuff. Tell me how awesome my new Pokemon shirt is. Join the Discord. There's a bunch of stuff you can do to help show support. Sharing is huge, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, thanks so much, and I will see you next time.